stuck in Frozen 2. Greatest superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. That she's worked with in the world. And Vivian, it is Why Wednesday. Awesome to encounter you through the virtual world in this amazing space. How are you, Vivian?
Fantastic.
All right. It was great. Our conversation from last evening on mastery. Thank you again for everything you do. And let's hit it. Who are these fine and amazing folks?
Oh my God. We have Tina Ojagian, aka the California brain injury lawyer, or the super lawyer, as stated by Super Lawyers magazine. Tina is the founder and managing partner of Ojagian Law Group, and is renowned TBI, traumatic brain injury litigator, who specializes in the complex mechanisms of brain injury, particularly those that occur in the workplace. Tina has secured over $200 million in settlements on behalf of her injured clients. So welcome. She's also, wait. She is also the founder of Brain SoCal, a nonprofit organization that serves as a platform for prominent medical legal professionals in the TBI community to share ideas, and serves as a resource to brain injured individuals and their families. So welcome, Tina.
Tina, awesome. Congratulations on
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege.
And thanks for being here.
Yeah. And are we not going to get a fun fact from Tina?
Yes, Tina.
Oh, fun fact. Fun fact. What can I tell you? Well, I have been doing my Zoom calls from the closet because I'm homeschooling my kids in the other room. And today I came to the office especially for you so that we wouldn't have any mommy interruptions.
Oh, thank you, Tina. You're amazing. And thank you for all that you're doing in the world for folks with traumatic brain injuries and for bringing justice to this world. Thank you. Yeah. Vivian, but wait, there's more.
Oh my goodness. We have Karina Karajan, founder of her own law firm in both LA and Orange County. Corinne is an attorney and mediator focused on bankruptcy, debt relief, and employment law, including aggrieved employees. She is driven to coach and champion for women's rights, especially attorneys and entrepreneurs that have lupus like herself. For she knows firsthand how hard it was to navigate her newly opened law firm while falling ill to a mystery autoimmune disease that took years to diagnose. And to further support women entrepreneurs, Karina just landed a Facebook network group for Southern California entrepreneurs. So welcome, Karina.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And it's Karina?
Yes.
Yes, Karina, welcome. Thank you. How about a fun fact?
So on this Facebook network group adventure, I actually over the past 2 years have met at least a dozen fellow business women who were initially Facebook friends and became really, really good real life friends. And it's really helped me with my networking. So a lot of people think it's an unorthodox way of networking. And it's just been a great adventure for me. And they refer to me as the debt fairy because of the bankruptcy law stuff. So I just turned that into my Instagram handle for marketing purposes.
Well, if you want unorthodox, Karina, you have come to the right place. Welcome to the 253rd episode of The Real Raw since Corona has hit. So Vivian, yes, we are unorthodox too, are we not? And in fact, we have our own Tink, as in Tinkerbell, the fairy that supports the Unblinded world. So we have like unicorns and fairies all over the place. And yes, Vivian, we got some amazing judges as well.
I'm just loving that we're almost a full house of women today, and all of them badass lawyers in the house. This is so cool. We have Hala Jaludi in the house.
Hello.
The princess of PI is in the house. What's up, Hala?
Hello. I love that intro. I just love Vivian's energy.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Vivian, who's the princess of PI? What's happening here?
Oh my goodness. She is a partner at Callaghy Law, who heads the personal injury department for over 20 years. She practices in all areas of personal injury, including automobile accidents. Prior to joining Callaghy Law, Hala Jaludi founded and was a senior partner in her own law firm. Armed with a heart of gold, This tireless and relentless warrior has successfully handled thousands of personal injury claims and has obtained multi-million-dollar settlements and verdicts on behalf of her clients. So welcome, Hala.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And a fun fact, Hala, come on now.
All right, I'm going to tell you a fun fact that didn't end up in so much fun. So I'm not like a big workout individual, but one thing that I was proud of, I used to be able to do these like planks, 3-minute planks, but I haven't done them in a long time. So a couple of weeks ago, without any preparation or practice, I pushed myself to do it to the point where I gave myself a condition called costochondritis.
Oh my God.
What is that?
Sort of a bizarre fun fact. That is one of the most bizarre fun facts amongst the most bizarre fun facts on the Real Raw. Thank you.
Yes.
So,
So that's my fun fact. Plus, I'll give you another one.
yes.
When my kids give me good news, secretly, I do this. Well, to them, they think it's weird, but I do this chicken dance. So, a chicken song and dance. So that's fun.
Hala, you are fun. And my fun fact about Hala is about a month ago, with Vivian as witness and Michelle participating, Hala, who cannot swim, jumped into the Atlantic Ocean at midnight with an incredibly crazy, insane group of the Unblinded elite folk. And Hala not only went in once, but twice in with offshore hurricanes, somewhere around 6-foot waves. And if you don't know, like waves, that's a giant wave, right? I was just surfing out in Southern California recently. So yeah, like those are big waves. And Hala was like heading out to sea and back again, got out of the ocean safely and went back in. So that's my fun fact about Hala. So Vivian, back to you.
Well, we have a lot of judges in the house. More, we have the one man. Let's talk about the one Matt Olsonen. He's the founder of his own law firm, passionate about being a criminal defense attorney who also handles immigration cases like humanitarian immigration or citizenship to clients even with criminal backgrounds. As a speaker and advocate, he loves to embolden those he defends so they may share their stories and impact the world. So welcome, Matt.
Thanks very much, Vivian, for having me.
Hey, Matt, thanks for being here, man, and for what you're up to in the world. And how about a fun fact, sir?
Fun fact about me that most people don't know, I've been freestyle rapping since I was 18 years old. And I often credit it to my ability to become a better lawyer because it trained me to think on my feet in front of judges. And when you don't have the time to filter out what you're going to say, it becomes much easier when you sort of do in court.
You rap in court?
No. Well, I guess sort of, but no. I rap and then I use those skills in court so I can speak on my feet and think on my feet better.
I want you to give me a riff right now, yo.
Oh man.
Come on.
Bust out some rhymes.
Come on.
I can't hear a beat. You got to make a beat. Somebody's got a beatbox.
Vivian, hit this man with a beat.
Okay. Yeah, I rap. Yeah, it's not crap. Boy, you know what? I'm gonna take it back because I don't get strapped all day, every day. I gotta make this rap on the spot, but I don't even know how to make it pop.
Awesome job.
Not my best part.
That is one of the 5 bravest moments on the Real Raw. Congrats. Vivian,
Do I get an award?
Yes. So you win the award. We have all kinds of awards here, but that is not even the most. Well, I don't know. Like even for today, this is our 7th or 6th Real Raw of today, and our like the fun fact of today so far is somebody that is in the space of essentially unknown disability and is truly a warrior out there in the world. By the way, quick footnote, I'm blind and I'm on the board of the American Foundation for the Blind, and we're working to change the rates of unemployment for the blind. I'll get into more of my background later. But so this beautiful moment, heart-centeredness, sharing, her name is Catherine, sharing her background. And then she goes into her fun fact. She's like, yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, I was at a party and I smoked weed with Snoop Dogg. That was her fun fact for today. So we have a lot of
mine.
Yeah, on the Real Raw. So Vivian,
but did she meet Martha Stewart while she was at it?
I don't know, but like Snoop Dogg, whenever you reference Snoop Dogg on the Real Raw, like it's a good day. So back to it.
We have Susanna Abrahamian.
You did it.
I know. Thank you. Senior attorney at Martinian and Associates. Susanna is a woman who knows too well the beauty of celebrating life and infuses her passion as a plaintiff personal injury attorney to represent plaintiffs in wrongful death matters and individuals who have sustained catastrophic injuries. So welcome, Susanna.
Thank you for having me. And Vivian, your energy, give it to me.
How amazing. On it. Susanna, thank you so much for being here. And Vivian is unbelievable, is she not?
She is. She's amazing. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And how about a fun fact?
Fun fact. Oh my God. I don't know if I could follow after that one. I love to spin. I got into spinning about a year ago, and I think I became obsessed with it. 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. It's just an obsession. It's my zen.
Spinning, obsession, and addiction is in the house.
Susanna, love it.
Welcome. And where are you coming from exactly today?
Studio City.
Very nice. Well, welcome from Studio City, Susanna. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Vivian, and we got a role player.
We have a cute Tink in the house.
Where's Tink? Tink is in the house.
Hey, Tink.
That would be Michelle Etibaran. Woo! That's you, baby.
Oh, okay.
I know you were looking confused. Let me clarify. You're the Tink here.
Anybody behind me?
Founder and CEO of Attorneys in Motion, aka the Uber of lawyers and their court appearances. Not only did she create this company from limited resources, she did so as a single mom of 4. Plus, she grew the business to be a nationwide company with 7,500 lawyers. She now offers freelance lawyer work. You know, my voice went up, Sean, just like you. How did that happen?
I don't know. Scary, Vivian. Scary.
High pitch with 7,500 lawyers. She now offers freelance work so lawyers can run leaner and more productive law firms. And she sits on the board of a political action committee with the aim to diversify the bench. So welcome, Michelle Etibaran.
Michelle,
thank you.
And a fun fact, Michelle.
I'm using up all my fun facts on these. I don't want to repeat the fun fact. Oh, okay. So I'll tell you something that you don't know about me. In 2012, I went to Pentagon, and they closed down the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. I was presented a Citizen Patriot Award. There are less than 100 people in the country to have one of those.
Michelle,
presented by the Army Chief of Staff.
Oh my
That's
God.
incredible.
Your new nickname is Citizen Patriot. What's up, Patriot? That's unbelievable. I love that. Congratulations.
That was for work with just being supportive of bigger organizations that do work with veterans families, active military families, and all the trauma that they go through. So
oh my God. It
was an honor.
Michelle, crushing it. Thanks. I didn't know that one. I love that. It's an awesome fun fact. So yeah, Vivian, you want to hit us with what are we doing here on the Real Raw? You up for that?
My goodness. Well, we are here so that we could discover how influence is a superpower and lean into that. Because the Real Raw offers us a chance to have a microphone, a stage, form ecosystems, make more money with less time, with more magic. And mostly because Sean has come up with this amazing formula he's been curating for the past 23 years, the formula. And Sean Callaghy, if you don't know, he's an entrepreneur, national speaker, philanthropist, one of America's top trial attorneys, and is the chief visionary officer of Unblinded. And although he is blind, he is here to unblind us in integrity through micro distinctions on how we can all go from hello to yes in any role that we play in life. And so we as leaders can lead and make the world a more heart-centering place.
Vivian, and we are co-creating that magic here together. And I'm so thankful for everything you do and did here today. And thank you for launching us, my friend.
Thank you for having me. And it's nice to see Adam Gugino in the house as well.
AG working in the house.
Revenue officer.
What's up, brother?
What's up? Just excited to be here. I haven't been here for a couple days and looking to drop in on some of this magic that will be created today for sure.
Yeah. And so we'll explain. Actually, let's hit Adam this way. Adam Gugino managed between 50 million and 100 million. Yes, 50 million and 100 million phone calls a year as he took his last company from 0 to 500 people, from 3.5 million in revenue to 750. Yes, $750 million in revenue. Inc. 500 magazine as one of America's fastest growing companies. And yeah, like that's who this dude is. And he left it all behind to come take this to the world. So Adam, thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you. And yes, I left millions of dollars on the table once I met you, discovered integrity-based human influence, the superpower that we will be demonstrating today.
Yes, thank you. So my quick fun fact is I'm a blind guy that taught a blind guy to surf in the last month. And thanks to Tony Robbins, I jumped out of an airplane in a day when I woke up that morning, having no idea that I was going to be jumping out of an airplane. Thank you for that fun, crazy surprise from Tony. I am one of only 2 attorneys in America to have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 16, me and a guy from California. And I was the only one that was blind. And it's not because I'm so hardworking or wonderful or incredible. It's in fact none of those things, because I have incredible amounts to learn and I do every day. It's because there's a formula. And that's what we're here to play with and unpack today, because influence isn't a linear dynamic of differential. It's not even an exponential dynamic of differential. In many cases, it's an infinite dynamic of differential, because when it's no, we're at 0. When it's a yes, something begins to happen. With authenticity and integrity, dropping a footnote, we also need to know when to say no. And that's one of the greatest challenges in life as well. So yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. Michelle, are we ready to drop in?
Let's do this.
All right, Michelle, we're gonna change it up a little bit, and we're gonna have you pick who goes first today.
Ooh, we are changing it up a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with Tina.
All right,
Dun,
Tina.
dun, dun.
Michelle's like throwing you under the bus. And
I am.
So Tina, Michelle is going to be any avatar you want.
Awesome.
She could be
Okay.
an ideal client. She could be herself. She could be somebody about a book deal or a charitable raise or an investment funding. Heck, she could even be a judge. So who would you like Michelle to be today?
Oh, I want, I've never watched this before. It sounds amazing. I'm immersing myself in the experience. So Michelle, you pick.
I like this, Michelle.
All this Michelle on the spot. Ooh.
And if you pick something I know nothing about, then
You want to just be a potential client?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be we'll make this easy. Not easy, but I think that this will add a lot of value to the world of lawyers and really getting a grasp on how you should be retaining a client. So I am a potential client of yours.
Okay. So
How about this actually? Let me add this distinction.
Sure.
This is going to be for 6 minutes.
okay.
So there will be, and you'll be interrupted at 3 minutes. And then Michelle will have to take a quick phone call. We're going to get some assessment from the judges. So how about this? Michelle, you have an injury and some doctors have told you, Tina, tell me if you like the scenario. Some doctors have told you that they're not really sure they believe you. And you're just not remembering things the way you did. You're just a bit confused and you're really frustrated. And you've spoken to 3 attorneys and all 3 have said, yeah, come on in and we're going to really help you with this. And you just weren't quite sure they're really listening to you. So before you go to see anybody, you're looking for a quick screening phone call, and that's where you are. Tina, is that a fair scenario?
That's a great scenario. It's very, very common in my practice.
Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So Tina, your teammate at your firm has said that you have a person on the phone named Michelle, and she gave you a quick briefing, and Michelle is there, and please begin.
Awesome. Hey, Michelle, Tina Ojagin here. Thanks for reaching out. What can I do for you today?
Hi, Tina. Well, I've talked to a couple other law firms, and I just wanted to get talk to one more lawyer to see how things are going. I don't know how I felt about my conversations with them or if they were listening to me, but I was in a car accident. It's been a couple years. I didn't think it was anything really major. I do know that I hit my head pretty hard on the window, and I still have a lot of headaches. I can't remember things all the time. It's been a struggle, and the doctors aren't, I don't think my doctors are listening to me. Maybe it's related to this, maybe it's not, but I don't remember that I had these problems before this happened.
Well, Michelle, I'm really glad that you found your way here. I don't know who referred you, but this is really common. What you're describing to me is really common. A lot of my clients suffer from these very symptoms. They actually call brain injuries invisible injuries because people can't see them from the inside, yet the symptoms that you feel are very real, they're very constant, they're very debilitating. Fortunately, this is all we do. My entire caseload is comprised of brain injury cases, so I can definitely help point you in the right direction and navigate your medical care a little bit. I think if we're able to get you some support and some medical treatment to improve some of the symptoms, you'd feel better, and it would certainly help your case. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you would like to see happen for you, what you were looking for in an attorney?
Well, I'm just worried because, like I said, doctors that I've seen in the past haven't really acknowledged that there might be something wrong with me. So I just don't, I'm a little apprehensive. I mean, I know I need an attorney, but I just don't know that I'm confident that a doctor can actually figure something out. And so I guess that's why I'm talking to you. Can you just help me understand how this is even going to work with getting a doctor to listen to me?
Sure. So unfortunately, right, brain injuries are underdiagnosed oftentimes, and a lot of practitioners don't really know what they're doing when it comes to traumatic brain injury because of the invisible nature of the injury. We have a great network of doctors who are really well versed at getting to the bottom of these types of injuries, and I would love to have one of them take a look at you and do a proper assessment so that we can have a better idea of, your deficits, and we can start addressing some of them. I can just tell by speaking to you at first glance that you're sort of struggling a little bit. You're having some difficulty with the word finding. You tend to stop mid-sentence. You're a little bit slower. Were these things that you were suffering from before this injury, or is this a new development?
I think before then I was much more quick and articulate, and things just came easier. So you telling me right now that you have your own network of doctors is very it's a relief to me, and something I haven't felt in a long time. And it's something that the other lawyers didn't really mention to me. So I appreciate that you brought that to my attention. I just want to just make it clear though, I don't want to really sue anybody for a lot of money. I'm not going in it for the money. I just want to find some way to get relief for my brain. I don't know if there's anything they can do for my memory or my headaches, but I just want some help.
Hey, Michelle, you got a quick phone call. Could you just take that for 1 second, and you'll bounce back with Tina in a sec, okay?
Okay. Sorry, Tina, I have to run. But I would love to talk more with you.
No problem. I'll look forward to it.
Hey, Tina, outstanding job. Your empathy, depth of listening was so present. How'd that feel for you?
It felt great. I was on the spot a little bit, so it wasn't as natural as I had hoped. And it's amazing, no matter how many times we do this, when you are in a fishbowl, you tend to be a little more nervous, I guess. I hadn't anticipated that. But other than that, these are the kinds of calls I get on a daily basis. So
Awesome.
good about it. I wish I had more of an opportunity to tell her a little bit more about what it is that we do, but I think it's really important, at least in my clients, in real life scenarios, I think they like to feel like they're heard. So I find it to be,
Tina, you're going to be coming back around too. And
okay.
I think that's ideal. So one of the things that we talk about in the Unblinded formula is integriously depth of listening. Like Oprah Winfrey said, she held the microphone for 30,000 people because those people, when she was complete, felt, experienced, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters. And that's what I think you're given. And so, yeah, and we talk about the idea of in every conversation, listening 2/3 and speaking 1/3. So I think you're off to a fantastic start. And that's, what we share here, but I think you did a great job on that one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
Really
Right.
helpful.
Yeah, clearly. So, Karina, is saying that right? I'm going to get it the exact inflection.
It's Garine, but Karina is fine.
Say it one more time, please.
Garine.
Karina.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Forgive me for
No problem.
lack of proficiency. And so who would you like Michelle to be in round one?
So we had talked about how one of my passion projects is like talking to a lot of younger attorneys who want to start out their own firm and are afraid to make that leap. So that's something we could try to role play today. But I'm also a lot of as far like my personal business is concerned, a lot of people know me as a bankruptcy attorney. And so I'm also open to doing a role play along those lines where what I come across a lot is people who have so much shame and taboo associated with seeking help for debt relief that they don't call me until kind of they're at their last leg, like they just got served with a lawsuit, they're freaking out. And a lot of what I do is kind of try to talk to them and try to calm them down about that whole situation and seek the help.
So which way would you like to go? It's up to you.
I guess we can go with the client since that's what I do on the daily.
Oh, yeah, awesome. So are you ready, Michelle? You are a client and would you like her to own a company or just personal?
Personal is what I do most.
Awesome. Okay. So Michelle, things have not gone well. COVID is here, lost your job, really struggling with debt. And yeah, sound good?
Perfect. I'm ready.
All right, take us in.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hi. Thank you so much for returning my call and getting back to me so quickly.
Of course. Let me know a little bit of background, like what's going on. How can I help you?
Well, my husband and I we're at a point right now where he's been laid off. So sometimes he works and sometimes he doesn't because he's in the construction field. And it's just, they're doing social distancing. So the work isn't as consistent as it used to be. And I lost my job. The company I was working with just couldn't stay open. And now we haven't been able to make our house payment for the last like 5 months. We're getting pretty nervous here. We keep getting letters from our mortgage company. We haven't been able to make our credit card payments. It just feels like it's spiraling deeper and deeper out of control. And I'm afraid I don't want to file bankruptcy. I've heard that it's just something that we used to be successful people. We don't do that. And it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to do this. And I don't want to follow me on my credit report for the rest of my life.
Okay. Well, first off, I'm really sorry to hear about his situation and that you've been laid off as well. I know it's really difficult right now, and I can't tell you the amount of calls I'm getting from people who are going through similar circumstances. So I just want you to know that you took the right first step by calling and getting some options in place, and that there's no shame in any of this. We have attorney clients, we have business clients, we have clients from every spectrum you can think of. And sometimes life just happens and circumstances happen to put you in such a way where you need to seek help, and there are laws designed to help you. And so you mentioned that you were falling behind on the mortgage. Is your goal going to be to try to save your home, or do you want to just kind of walk away from that and walk away from all the credit card altogether?
I don't want to leave our home. My kids are, in their teenage years now, and this is where they've grown up. This this house is our family, and I just don't think I can let my house go. But I don't know what to do because we can't make our payment.
So the good thing is that you have some options in terms of, when you're in a situation where you're trying to save your home, one option you can do is try to apply for a loan modification. And if that doesn't work out, we can probably put you in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, where it's a 3 to 5 year repayment plan. And you can catch up on your mortgage payments, the ones you're behind on, and we can help you save your home. So you definitely have options. I just don't want you to feel like you're out of options here. It's just a matter of us figuring out what's going to make the most sense for your financial situation and how we can help you move forward. And as far as the concerns you voiced about the credit impact and it following you for several years, yes, there's a lot of taboo associated with it, but it does not mean it's the end of your financial future or your credit. A lot of clients are able to rebuild after their bankruptcies are closed out. And I have made it a point to build a vast network of people I work with, whether that's car financing, house financing, realtors, all people like that who know the struggle that my clients have gone through and are able to help them when it's time for them to rebuild. So you came to a good place and you're going to be okay. We just have to figure out which route to take with you.
Michelle, get a quick phone call. You'll bounce back in 1 moment.
Corinne, thank you so much. I want to talk more. I like I said, I have to go really quickly, but I do want to talk to you again.
Of course, sounds good. I'll be here.
Okay, so Katarina, how did that feel for you?
It felt okay. I'm not. I'm usually a lot more comfortable in smaller crowds than bigger ones, but it felt okay.
Okay, excellent. Michelle, real quick, if you had one word to assess the connection in this first round with Tina and Katarina, what would it be for you?
Comfortable.
Cool. And would you, if
you're safe, it felt safe.
Comfortable and safe. And if you would go, if head to head is at 0, heart to heart is at 10, connectivity wise, where would it be on that scale? Again, head to head 0, heart to heart 10, where would it be?
I'm going to say for both of them, 8.5, 9, and it would be 10s if it weren't in an artificial setting.
All right. Awesome.
It would be above 10s if it weren't artificial. Right. I can see that already.
Cool. All right. Halajaludi. Let's drop in 30 seconds tight of 15 seconds or so on what worked and was optimal. 15 seconds on what could be optimized, please. What do you got? Let's start with Tina.
With Tina, I think she did a great job. I liked how she matched the tone to Michelle. It wasn't rushed. It was comfortable. There was certainty. She validated her feelings and told her that, what you're going through is not uncommon. And I loved when she asked, what would you like to see happen? What are you looking for in an attorney? She also showed great listening skills. She said, I could hear that you're struggling, you're searching for words. So I thought that was fantastic. For score, a solid 8.
Nice. And for Karina?
And for Corinne, the same thing. I love the matching of the tone. I love the fact that she didn't try to oversell, acknowledging initially showing empathy. I'm sorry for what you're going through, validated her, told her that, professionals, attorneys, everybody goes through that. There's no shame. Also great listening. She picked up on the issues. She was concerned about keeping her house. She picked up on that. She was concerned about her credit. She also gave her, hope and comfort that she has a network and that she doesn't have to be worried about her credit. So, I thought she did a fantastic job. I would have maybe, dealt 1 or 2 more questions, but I thought she did great as well. And again, I you know, a solid 8. And for both, you know, Tina and Karine, I'm like between 8 to 8.5. I thought they did really, really, really well.
Nice. Excellent job. Matt, yeah, thank you, Hala. What 30 seconds do you have for Tina?
So I thought, Tina, you did excellent. I've done some PI in the past, and I think it's really difficult to sort of balance I want to ask you very direct questions that are very difficult to ask and things that I need answers for. And I thought that you eased into that very well. I think you kind of ran out of time, but one thing I think I try to do with clients who come to me for personal injury cases is give them a little bit of a lay of the land of kind of what it looks like as far as the process goes. And I know it sounds like you're going to do that on the second part, but that's something that obviously I want to hear them. And I think you did a very good job listening to Michelle, listening to her issues, validating them. And I think a big thing in any kind of personal injury case, especially when it's severe injury, is making them realize that just because a doctor says something somewhere doesn't mean that's the truth. So as far as the score, 8.5, I think you did wonderfully. I just think you ran out of time as far as going into laying out the process for them a little bit.
Awesome, Matt. And for Karine?
For Karine, I thought you did really wonderful. I know nothing about bankruptcy, and I hope to never have to know anything about bankruptcy. But you did a very good job listening to Michelle's concern. Kind of like Hala said, you picked up that the house was a really big thing for them. I think I would have probably phrased the housing question a little bit more suggestively, because that's something I picked up very early on in what Michelle was saying, was that the house was her chief concern. And it's like, do you care about your house, or do you want to just give it up? And I understand as a lawyer, you kind of got to do that, but I think you could have just sort of just suggested it a little bit differently and picked up on, this is the house, this is your big concern, how are we going to keep you in your house? But as far as empathizing, I thought you did wonderfully. I thought Michelle was what I imagine the prototypical bankruptcy client, lots of shame, successful, has no idea of what's going on or how to go forward. And you jumped in really quickly to their options. And I think with my clients, especially with my immigration clients, I listen to them, but I try very early on to encourage them. There are options. This is not the end of the world. Just because somebody said you had to go to immigration court and you're being deported doesn't mean you're going to be deported. So as far as the score, I would similarly give you the 8.5. I think you both did really, really wonderfully. And it's so much different than when you call the average attorney, and it's this very sort of like stick in the mud, very dry questioning. I thought you tempered the cross-examination instinct very well to get the information you needed from your clients.
Excellent. Great feedback having that. And Susanna, what'd you have for Tina, please? Countdown 25 seconds.
You're on mute, I think.
There you go.
You're good.
They both did a fantastic job. Starting with Tina, there was a lot of comfort, a lot of ease. Her tone, very comfortable with the individual she was talking to, because Michelle, as the potential client, she seemed very uneasy. So I think Tina wanted to assure that you could be comfortable and very easygoing with me. Don't stress here. You could have that stress factor with the doctors, but I think she wanted for the potential client to feel comfortable with her. I think that was the whole take that Tina took, which she did a great job. In the beginning, she did ask an open-ended question, can you tell me what you're looking for? So that way Tina could know how to approach the potential client and give her what she's looking for, which she addressed she did a great job with that. She did provide also another comfort level where what Michelle is looking for is not being able to find the doctors. The doctors are not listening. And the reassurance that she provided was, I have a network of doctors. So she wanted to make sure that she's comfortable, and the reassurance to the person who obviously is having issues. And she did say, I could hear you. I could hear it in your voice. So that's the feedback on Tina.
And what'd you have for a score?
I'm gonna agree with all the judges between an 8 to an 8.5.
All right, and for Karine?
For Karine, there was absolutely no overselling. She was like, this is what I could do for you. Clearly you have the problem of the house, and you want to make sure that you save your house and this is what I could do for you. Here's option A and here's option B. I think that specific individual wanted to hear the options and wanted to know that perhaps basically there's no shame. So there was a little bit of mirroring. I'm gonna make sure that you feel safe. There are other people like you. And she brought the examples of there's attorneys and doctors. It's not just you. Please feel comfortable. There are others like you going through the same thing.
Amazing. So, and a score?
Same thing, 8 to 8.5.
Got it. Okay.
Sean, quick drop in, like 3 seconds here.
Yeah.
You do the word association game and you ask people what they associate with attorney. Let me just say, Tina and Karina, the words that I associate with both of them just now were empathy and compassion, not your typical, but amazing job, I think, on that round.
Yeah, awesome job. Karina, are you ready for round 2 with Michelle? She's back.
Sure.
All right, Michelle.
Okay. Karine, sorry I had to jump off the phone very quickly earlier, but thanks for calling me back so quickly.
No worries, no worries. I'm glad you called back. I wanted to go over some of these options with you and kind of get a feel for what you think you're going to be more comfortable with. So first thing I wanted to see is, want to make sure there's no indication of foreclosure sale or anything that you've received from your mortgage lender, just so we're safe on a timeline.
Thank you. First, thank you so much for being so understanding. Like I said, my house it's like part of our family since we've been there so long, and my kids are so attached to it. And like I said, I don't know what other people will think about us if we lose our house also. So that's a big concern. We did, like I said, we have received some letters in the mail. One does say notice of default. I don't know if that's something I should be worried about, but it does make me feel nervous.
Of course, and it's natural to feel nervous when you're getting all these papers and there's a lot of legalese in them that you might not necessarily understand. So basically with a notice of default, it's just certain notices that go out, and there's certain timeframes before a lender would institute foreclosure proceedings. So I'm really glad that you reached out at a time where we have enough time to resolve this situation before it gets to that point. So we're just gonna, I think it would be optimal for us, to meet, if you're comfortable with that, when I can take a look at all of your finances, whether that's your income, what your assets look like, and we can get a comprehensive picture, and we can figure out how to move forward in a way that's going to best serve your needs. So one option we're looking at would be for you to possibly try to do a loan modification with your lender directly, and then we could possibly file a Chapter 7 to clear you kind of all your personal debt, like the credit cards, and that will free up some money for you to make your mortgage payments, right? And then another option might be, if your lender is not willing to cooperate with that, then we could put you in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, where your lender would essentially be forced into accepting all the mortgage arrears and getting you on the right path. And that one is a little bit of a longer process. It's about a 3 to 5 year commitment, but we're here to kind of walk you through all the steps that go into that. So you're never kind of left in the blind, basically.
Wow. Okay. So this conversation's made me feel a lot better about the possibility of light at the end of the tunnel with this. It's scary. So yes, please, whenever we can get together and meet, just let me know what I need to bring to you and I'll come in.
Definitely. I'll send you an email with everything you need to bring in, and then we'll sit down and we'll create a plan. So don't worry, okay?
Excellent job. How did that feel for you?
That was good. That was good.
All right. And yes, let's hit it for round 2 for Tina. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Take us in, please.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi, Tina. Thank you for taking my call so quickly. Sorry, I had to jump off the phone earlier.
No problem. When we were last speaking, you mentioned that you don't want to sue because it's not about the money. I have no doubt that you would much rather not have gone through this than to be put in this position. So I don't ever want you to worry about that. And I also know that you mentioned that a couple of other attorneys hadn't been as responsive, and some of the doctors you felt didn't believe you. And I want you to be assured that we specialize in those kinds of tough cases here. A lot of the cases we take on are cases that other attorneys have, perhaps messed up a little bit or not paid the attention they should have to. And we've come in as a second or third attorney and turned the ship around and had to turn the ship around. So you're definitely in the right place. I also want to let you know that we turn away a lot of the cases that come through the door. So I wouldn't take your case if I felt like I couldn't leave you better off than I found you. And just from speaking with you, for the brief conversation that we had earlier and listening to your speech pattern and listening to your concerns, I really feel like we can definitely help improve your quality of life and help prove up your case. First of all, I'd like to send you to some of my experts to do some diagnostic testing to see the extent of the brain injury, if it's even something that can be captured on a radiograph right now, or send you out for some neuropsych testing and just get a baseline of where you're at. And then from there, we'll develop a treatment plan and figure out how to best proceed against the insurance carrier. Do you have any other questions for me? We really didn't have much of an opportunity the first time round, so I want to address any concerns or questions that you have.
Oh, thank you for asking me that. I feel relief already by talking to you, knowing that we can actually start this right away. It sounds like you mentioned testing right away, and that I was afraid that this might be like a very long, stressful process for me, and that I would have to worry about setting these appointments up and doing all these things. And I guess I don't really have any questions right now. I'm just thankful that this whole process can be started, and your office is willing to take that pressure off of me and my life. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm sure going through this is already so stressful. The last thing I want you to worry about is what steps you need to take, how your treatment's going to go. We're going to immediately set you up for a 3T MRI with one of our experts. On a lean basis, you won't have to worry about any of the costs associated with the medical diagnostic testing or the treatment. And we'll sort of come up with a game plan. I would love to have you and your family over to my office if at all possible. Or I know with COVID right now, if you're apprehensive about leaving the house, we can do a Zoom call. But I would love to speak to them to get a better idea of your symptoms and how things are different now than they used to be before, because it's important for us to convey that to the doctors and the trier of fact later on down the road. So can we perhaps set something up for you to come in?
Yes, I would love to come in, and thank you for inviting my family also.
10 seconds.
When can we come in?
I'll have my office schedule something right away. If you don't mind parking on hold, they've got a better handle on my schedule. We'll get you squeezed in for this week.
Awesome. Tina, excellent job. How'd that feel for you?
It felt great. A little maybe rushed because I was worried about the time clock and getting out what I needed to get out in the time frame that I had. But other than that, it felt good.
All right, awesome. Can I drop in on a little role play with you, Tina, for 1 second?
Sure.
Yep. Okay. So just to illustrate the point, and we'll show one point in. So Tina, how about I'm you,
Okay.
and you are, let's go with your Mary, who has been injured in a situation the same as Michelle was. Or you just be Michelle. We'll call you Michelle. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So, yeah, hi, this is Tina. Is this Michelle?
This is Michelle.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle. I'm so sorry to hear what happened, but thank you for calling us.
I appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah. So what prompted you? I know what prompted you to call about this, but how did you find us?
I was doing some online research and I researched, brain injury, and I came across your website, and I saw that, these are the types of cases that you'd handled before, and sort of at the end of my rope, so I wanted to give it a shot.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm hearing end of your rope. What's been going on?
Well, I've had a couple of attorneys tell me that they don't think I have a case, and they weren't even really willing to hear me out. And doctors say, I'm feigning or faking my symptoms, and it's just been really hard.
So first, Michelle, I'm so sorry to hear that that's going on. It's not uncommon at all, but it doesn't make it any less painful and any less unfortunate. So on behalf of the entire professional world and the legal profession, I'm sorry that that's what's happened to you so far.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Yeah. And so before I get to this, like if I could serve you in a way that would make you feel happy and comfortable when you called, what would happen? What would be best for you as you enter this call? I have a lot of thoughts I'll share in a moment, but I want to know where you are coming into this call.
Well, I just like to hear your thoughts on whether or not you think that you can help me, and what my options might be.
Sure. Okay. So thank you for that. And I'm hearing your exhaustion and your frustration, and it's acknowledged, and you have every right to feel that way. But for this last minute, because I know you had a 3-minute window, I just like to share this about me. First, I have no idea if you have a case, but I believe you. And I don't know about liability. I'm not sure how this accident happened yet. But regardless of that, I have worked for a long time in my career, for more than a decade now, to develop a process of supporting people like yourself who are injured with what we call TBI, a traumatic brain injury, which is often incredibly complex to diagnose. And there's amazing nuances on the impact. So we can look like we're not injured and be incredibly injured in our brain and our nervous system. And I developed a network of completely reputable doctors, not doctors who will say what I want, but doctors who will tell the truth, and doctors who will assess what's actually happened to you because they have a particular expertise in this area, like I have a particular expertise in handling cases in this area. So in our final 15 seconds, what I would propose is that we were to set up an appointment with one of these physicians to get an assessment of what's actually going on with you. And we could simultaneously set up an appointment for us to sit down and talk about how the accident happened, what went on in the process, and most importantly, though, how to get you well. And my expertise is precisely in this area, as you saw online. And it's my mission to help not only educate people, but help people make sure that they get well with the right physicians and are appropriately taken care of financially with what happens. Because obviously money is never going to replace what you've lost. But we want to make sure we get you treated fairly, so you have the medical bills covered, that you have coverage going forward, and that whatever you've lost economically in your life, to the best that it could be approximated with money, is restored to you. So how does that sound to you, that doctor appointment and meeting with me? How do you feel about that?
That's awesome. That was perfect. Yeah, that was really, really great. I hear that you hear me, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Okay, out of roll, Tina, how did that feel for you? That is, I believe, who you are, is it not?
Yeah, so I think you did a really good job. I should have clarified the nuances. I was glazing over the issue of liability and damages because I wasn't sure if this was a workers' comp case or a PI case, and I didn't want to go into the fundamental qualifying stuff because that would have taken 10 minutes in and of itself. Yeah. So I just kind of went with it as though it's a big injury, but we don't know if it's comp or PI. So I assumed a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have assumed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I really appreciate the way that you broke it down. And then the last portion of what you did, I always do. And I tell them, basically, what's the carrier? We've got some of the biggest settlements and awards against this particular carrier. This is all we do. This is what we do. But for the fear of coming off as sort of boastful, I withheld that part of the intake that I normally interject, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
But I love the way that you broke it down.
Yeah. And I think for everybody, there's a difference if you have 3 minutes,
Yeah,
6 minutes,
of course.
15 minutes, 30 minutes. So in my 3 minute assessment, what I would always do, this is with anything, put it inside the law, outside the law,
Mhm.
is really to connect, to hear, to acknowledge and validate, and have enough that's given and presented, but predominantly through our listening.
Right.
This person would like to continue the relationship and say yes to the next step. So yeah, you did a fantastic job. That was me just dropping in and illustrating what it could look like in 3 minutes. So
No,
thank you.
I really appreciate that. That was really great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's take it to the judges. Hala, what say you? And let's take it home 30 seconds efficiently to maintain our best time integrity. So,
Say how they went, starting with Kareem.
Yeah, and how did you feel about the whole day? How was the whole day for you?
The whole day. Okay. I thought, both Tina and Kareem did an amazing job, but we're here to, of course, to rise in our scale of mastery. So for Karina in the second round, again, Michelle started off with talking about losing the house in shame. And I thought, although you did, Kareem, you showed a great level of empathy, but I thought maybe a little bit more, and sort of acknowledging, I understand this is difficult, what you're going through, and conveying your unique identity. I didn't think that came out so much in the second round. Instead of like talking about the nitty gritty of the process, sort of similar to what Sean did now in the role play, where you're acknowledging and validating and her issues. But overall, I thought it was a great job. Point of access, the unique identity part, I would say.
Yeah, and what did you have for score?
8.5.
And for Tina?
And for Tina, the same. I think, Tina did great, again, in validating and picking up and listening and saying, we left off where you were concerned about the doctors and the treatment. And I thought that was great. And I would say the same thing, sort of establishing your unique identity. And I thought it was a great touch when you said, I want to meet with you and your family. That was really great. But again, if I have to pick something, and both did great, I would say the unique identity, talking about that more, and just, she wanted to know that, somebody's going to recognize what she's going through. But good job. And again, 8.5, strong, both strong.
And how was today for you, Hala?
Today was absolutely phenomenal. And I want to say that, doing this and being part of Cali Law, every time I do a real raw, just now, I was just, seeing you do the role play, and every single time I'm learning something new, and it's just amazing. And it's really an honor to be here, and to do this. And it's just a learning process.
Yeah, thank you. And the genesis of all this is through, 20 years of study in the space of personal development, mock jurors, trials, jury verdict consultants, and seeing some incredibly suboptimal dynamics at play, missing the fundamental understanding of depth of listening and all the other levers of influence. But that's a longer story for a different day. Matt, how's today been for you, and what's your feedback, sir?
So I'll start off with Karine. I thought you did a great job of explaining all the options this time, and you really went into the nitty gritty, kind of like Hala said. The only thought I have, and it kind of applies for both you and Tina, I think the probably, like you said, Tina, the clock went off in your head and you really wanted to kind of go and talk about as much as you could. The first one felt a lot more like listening. The second one felt a lot more like educating and talking. And I think that with bankruptcy, it is such an important thing to somebody's life that while you do want to give them the options, you also want to draw out a bit more about their life before you start going into the options. Obviously the house isn't the chief concern, but I'm sure she had a million other concerns that you'd really want to know about, which I understand is tough to do in 3 minutes. So I think you did a great job. That's the only comment I would have, is the second go around was a little bit more of you talking, and I would have listened even at just 10 more seconds more to get a little more information to question them about it. For Tina, I thought you took my advice and that you went and started explaining exactly what the process was like, which is really good. But one thing I've always looked at, and I guess this is for both of you, I always like doing either a personal share or a very similar client story share when I'm talking, because it helps if you can tell somebody, hey, I've been through this with somebody else and I've gotten them, rather than sort of generally be like, I had a client who had 2 kids in their teenage years, was worried about losing their house. We kept the house. It's a little bit of a brag, but if you do it right, I think you just are really guiding them and making them feel more comfortable that you can take them through this, rather than just saying generally we handle a million of these cases all the time, giving somebody with specific facts. But Tina, I thought you did a really, really good job of explaining specifically how what value you will add as compared to other lawyers. Because I think the prompt originally was Michelle had seen a couple other lawyers and they were interested in her case. So I think that while Sean did a really good job of kind of breaking down nuts and bolts, how do you feel about this, and to make them connect with you a little bit more, you did a really good job of being there and saying, hey, this is how I'm different. Because PI lawyers oftentimes are seen as dime a dozen, but in reality, that's so not the case. Somebody who's well resourced and knowledgeable is light years beyond somebody who's not, and they don't really know about that till the end. So
Amen.
I thought you did a really good job. I would say for both, I would say 8s this time as opposed to the 8.5s, only because I think both of you guys wanted to talk more than listen the second round, which I completely understand.
And Matt, you just drilled into it perfectly. The issue in the world, whether it's in legal, accounting, medical, anything that is in the intangible dynamic, is that people don't perceive that the differences are light years apart. And how do you assess that? And that's what we're playing with here. So great point, sir. And how was today for you?
I thought it was wonderful. I really want to be a contestant now. One of the things I hate most about being a lawyer is that you're sort of in an echo chamber, especially in like a client intake. There's not somebody critiquing you. It's a little bit different, I guess, if your trial you've got co-counsel and there's really a result. But I love this kind of feedback and learning how to do it. You're never perfect, and I think that both of you guys were willing to kind of share how you do things and to be vulnerable in that sense. It makes me very jealous that you guys got to be the ones to do that. See how
There's a big world of a lot of things going on, and your feedback was outstanding today, and we look forward to doing more great work together. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, Suzanne, what say you? How was your day, and what feedback do you have?
Today was amazing. I'm very happy Michelle reached out to include me as part of this group, because we're always learning and taking away from everything we do. Sean, the way you broke it down at the end was incredible, stepping into the shoes of the person, because honestly, at the end of the day, that's what we want to do in all our relationships, to get a better understanding of whether it's a family member, a friend, a client, a coworker, colleague, employee, whoever it is. You got to be able to understand and relate, so that you could have that formation, you could have that listening. And it's always more listening as opposed to talking.
And Suzanne, if I could just share this, and I know we're going to wrap for a minute, but I really want to anchor on this. And Matt alluded to it, he directly said it about light year differential. So the genesis of this is in the space of selling, leading, and attorneying, like all of these things collectively. You know, I had the privilege to speak on stage to raise money for Operation Underground Railroad and ending sex trafficking. And in just making a couple of micro distinctions in the plan, the idea, the hope was to raise $500,000 from a room of about 300 people. And in 26 minutes, we raised, and I thought how to do it, $1.7 million instead of 500,000. So again, this like exponentiality. And one more quick point on how this works. You know, we were doing mock trials. We had in one big case that we had was a verdict in excess of $25 million in a business breakup case. When we were running through mock trial scenarios, the jury verdict consultant was saying, you guys would be lucky to get $3 million. If you get, even $2 million on the table, you probably should take it and run, because the first round of jury verdicts came back at $3, $4, and $5 million. And the $5 million almost came in at zero, because you're looking through two-way mirrors. The people don't even realize that it's fake. They think it's an actual resolution. And with a couple of micro distinctions, the second round we did 3 weeks later resulted in verdicts that were all in the north of 17 million, and one that was high in the 30s. And the actual verdict came right at the average of those 3 second verdicts. My point in saying all that is that we could have actually believed that the value of that case was a tenth of what it actually was, but with small micro distinctions, like, Matt was talking about, being this echo chamber of not having feedback, small micro distinction, and as you, Susanna, were alluding to, create exponentially different outcomes. And that's what we're really anchoring on, and not just in lawyering, not just in a courtroom, but what about raising money? What about solving big problems? What about dealing with crises that face this country? Micro distinctions and influence create exponential differences. So I went on a bit about that, but that's what we're here to do. And thank you, Susanna, for participating in that today.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so yeah, please, what do you have for these fine folks, Tina?
They continue to do a great job, both Karina and Tina. I'm gonna agree. There was a little bit of step back from the first round. I think they did a little bit better in the first round, but the second round was tougher because they had, again, little time to form that agreement. They're trying to form that agreement. So both of them had more talking as opposed to listening. But they did their best, both of them, to try to get the client and to become their client. But again, I would have listened more instead of talking more. That's the only thing I could add on to it as a critique.
Yeah, and what did you have for scores?
8 for both.
Excellent. Thank you so much again for your time and energy today. Tina, how was today for you? And thank you so much for being here.
It was great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always nice to get feedback because normally I'm training my associates, and I like Matt said, we're in a little bit of an echo chamber, but it was a little bit of an artificial setting, and I think it's going to take doing a few of these to be more natural and have it mirror more real time what it's like with an actual client on the phone, as opposed to feeling like you're in a fishbowl a little bit and getting in your head about it more than you should. But I think it was awesome, and watching you break it down was really great at the end also. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate you. And Irene.
Yeah, I echo a lot of what Tina said. I think it was a wonderful experience. I do think there's a time crunch, and it does feel a little bit artificial. In a real life setting, let's say a typical intake is closer to 30 to 45 minutes on the phone, and you have a lot more time to like get into details and talk to them. And I actually usually give the personal story about how my parents had to file bankruptcy back when I was in high school, and how they rebuilt from that, and they were able to buy a house a few years later. And I think a lot of people connect with that. Yeah. But overall, I just want to thank everyone for, listening to us, for giving us such great feedback. And I got to watch how Tina does this, and she's like the queen of workers' comp, very highly respected attorney. And I'm glad that I got to learn a little bit from her as well. So thank you, Tina.
Thank you. It was great to finally meet you, and
yeah.
You did a really amazing job too. It's awesome. Hopefully I'll see you around the Armenian bar circuit.
Yeah.
Amazing job. And Michelle, thank you so much for introducing us to these amazing folks. And how was today for you? Take it home, please.
Well, I already knew it was going to be amazing because, hello, there's literally amazingness in every one of these little Zoom boxes. Both Karina and Tina are well-known, very well-known and influential lawyers in their field, and to have them agree to come on to this really out of the box kind of weird setting that hasn't really been done before. I just thank you both for doing this, and the vulnerability and just being yourselves and allowing other people to see what it's like, the real thing. And Susanna and Matt and Hala, also 3 badasses. Literally everyone here. I can't even. It's been an experience. I can't wait, to do more of these with more people and just continue to grow. So thank you everybody for contributing to growth and authenticity.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Don, for having us.
Thank you. And we've passed 250, and gone before you have been amazing attorneys, accountants, doctors, national speakers, best-selling authors, professional athletes, entertainers, and it's just beginning. And I look forward to co-creating more. With,
Maybe Matt can send us home with a wrap.
Yeah,
I already gave you the one wrap. You guys are gonna have to learn.
Now, maybe you could do the chicken dance. Have a great day, everybody.
Not on camera, Sean.